Hello, everyone. This is Zami Eccles-Irwin from FilmFestivalCircuit.com and the Assistant Director of the Austin After Dark Film Festival. Right now, we are gearing up for our summer 2023 screening, which is going to take place on August 6th at Austin Film Society Cinema. And today we are talking with one of our participating filmmakers. Raegan Smith is the director of Break a Leg. Raegan, thank you so much for meeting with me today.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
So tell me, what inspired this film?
So it's a little bit of a crazy story, but I was thinking, I was like, I need to make my first like short film. Like I need to make my first official one because typically I make like little movies with my cousins and stuff. And I was like, it's time to
Okay.
get serious. Like, let's make something. So
Totally.
I was thinking, I was like, I really like horror. Like that's something I really like to watch. That's something I really enjoy. But I was like, maybe I should go with thriller first just to make sure I don't make something too like, out of my circuit yet. So I was sitting there
Right.
and I was like, what could this be about? And I just was thinking and I was like, I really like games. I love the movies and the films that involve little games and little tricks. And I was like, every single board game could be considered a movie. Like you could make some sort of
Right.
game movie out of it. So I decided that I was going to do Operation as like my first kind of game choice. So I based the whole kind of film off of that game and kind of made like a little thriller spin on it.
Well, that's so cool. So you kind of had this idea that you wanted to capture like a board game somehow. What
Yeah.
was that process like to develop, take it from that impetus and then think, okay, I'm going to do Operation. I'm going to make it scary. I'm going to splatter blood on the board. How'd you come up with that?
Um, well, I don't know. I was in my room. It was like 3 a.m. and I was like, that's what I'm gonna do. Like it came to me and it's kind of just I knew it was going to be a short film, so I knew I didn't have the whole kind of like 90 to 120
Right.
minute wise to make something. So I took the board game and I made it a game within a game where you kind of pick pieces that make you play a turn. And I use the operation game to kind of begin the game. So they're playing the game of operation, but not the way that we typically play it, I guess.
Right. Well, and I love how, Operations, it's kind of the creepiest game.
It
If you think
is.
about it, it's like, why are we removing this guy's bones? But
That's why is there a bucket of water like in his
right.
ankle?
Well, so tell me, what was that on-set process like for you shooting this? Was it stressful? Was it fun? What was that dynamic like between you and the actors?
Between me and the actors, it was great. So,
Okay.
um, they always came ready to go. I could be like, "Okay, like, this is what I'm thinking, this is what I want," and then they'd do a version of for me, and then I'd be like, "Okay, now add kind of like what you think this character like, who do you think this character is? What would they do?"
Okay.
And then they'd do a version of that, and I'd be like, "Okay, now let's combine these." The actors were great to work with. It was very fun filming with them on set. The dynamic, perfect. It was great. Um, Even the crew was great. The crew was actually some of my rugby teammates, so
Okay.
they kind of it was like a whole learning process for everyone. But I think everyone was just there and they wanted to make this film. There wasn't really anyone there who was like, I don't want to be here, blah, blah, blah. So I
Right.
think definitely having the people who want to be there and then also just kind of having fun. Um, we did have a couple of things that went wrong
Oh,
as like
really?
usual
Right.
sets go. We had one day where we thought that everyone's schedules lined up and then they didn't. And so we kind of like got there late at night. We filmed until like 2 in the morning one time. So we were kind of just all running off of a little bit of some caffeine and
Yep.
had some pizza, but we kept going and it was great.
Well, that's awesome. It sounds like you had a good team, good collaborative kind of working relationship, which when it comes to independent films, it's got to be collaborative.
Yeah.
It's always wearing lots of different hats and doing a lot of different roles, but it's great. It's a great short film, and it has a good energy and a good pace. I'm
Thank you.
curious though, what did you learn from this process? It sounds like you were making videos before, but this is like the first thing that you consider a real short, right?
Yeah. So honestly, I think I learned a lot about myself
Okay.
through the process. I kind of learned what I'm like creating a film and working with other people. I also learned a lot about communication.
Hmm.
So I always knew kind of, it's collaborative effort. Like making any video or any film, like you're going to have to work with other people. Um, but I would say making a film is more than working with other people. It's also like relying on those people to do those jobs, because we'd be filming and then I'd be like, oh yeah, like remember like the mic, we got to go here. And I think since all of us were kind of there learning and having fun, it was easy to just be like, oh, hey, like next time, let's make sure we do this. And also, you kind of step up almost like everyone does into a leadership role. So,
Right.
like, let's say you're doing sound, you're like, okay, well, I got to tell them after this shot, like this part of the mic popped or like something bumped against the pole or, this sound didn't come out great. And I think just having the patience also to be on set and just know that like things are going to go wrong and you can't take that to heart. You can't freak out whenever that kind of stuff happens. So I think just overall that the process could be stressful, but it's also fun and you just have to love what you're doing and it'll go smoothly.
Totally. I love that. And you touch on some great insight. I feel like it's really important that, it's collaboration. It's not just a creative partnership. You do have to trust people. And there's a little bit of, relaxing control and be like, all right, we're just going to have to go along. But I mean, if everyone steps up to the plate, that's how great movies are made. And I think stressing the value of just having fun while you're there is so important, because so many people,
Mhm.
you know, get too stressed out or fall into gigs that they don't like, but it's cool to remember that heart of making films. Well, so tell me, what are you working on next? Do you have another short planned or anything in the works right now?
So right after I made that film, I made one other short film.
Okay.
It's like a psychological drama kind of. So still kind of staying in that little thriller range for now. I'm currently writing a script for what I think could be a feature length, but I might do a scene from it and kind of make it a short film
Okay.
first and then
Little
see
proof
how
of
that
concept or
goes.
something.
Yeah.
Cool.
So those are kind of the things right now. The film that I'm writing right now, like the script that I have, it's also a psychological thriller. So it's a little mind game type thing. It's a game, but not. I haven't done another board game yet.
Well, awesome. It sounds like you have some good momentum with these projects, and you have a lot of irons in the fire. Oh, and
Yeah.
it sounds like you kind of tend towards these psychological dramas and thrillers. And I want to ask, because the Austin After Dark Film Festival is not a genre festival. It's not horror specifically, or it's not comedy specifically, but it's thematically specific. That things have to be dark, whatever that means. And I was just curious, what does dark mean to you in media? And how do you feel? Is it valuable? Is it important? What is darkness to you?
Well, first, I would say I definitely think it's important. I think, especially in movies, those dark movies, it's something that we don't get to experience every day.
Mm,
And it's kind of like another world that we get to experience. So I do think it's important to kind of have those dark elements in films, and not even just in films, just like in general. I think it's good to experience kind of everything. And then dark to me, that's actually a good question. I think it's a combination of like the good and the bad that comes from it. And kind of what I mean by that is like dark to me could be neon lights at nighttime and it's
right,
like dark and you're walking through a city. But dark could also be like something creepy, like the game of operation
right,
being something so bad, or like people walking and following you at night. Like, I think it's just an aesthetic that you can't describe, because like dark could also be during the day. It doesn't just have to be
right.
at nighttime. But it's kind of, I guess it's kind of just whatever you think darkness could be, because it doesn't always have to be evil or kind of spooky like that. But I definitely feel like it holds a special place in my heart somewhere. And the ideas for darkness type things just come from, I don't know, inspiration from other people, I guess.
Totally. Well, that's cool. You really touched on something good there. It's like, people who are fans of dark media, we kind of crave that feeling. We like that creepiness, like you said, a lot of the
Yeah.
aesthetically motivated stuff, the neon lights at night, or even thinking about the game of Operation, being like, man, that's kind of creepy. It's kind of this cathartic thing. And people definitely tend towards it. And it's really fascinating to see all the different ways that people approach that in this specific festival, because we get comedy too, but
Yeah.
it's interesting to see people expound on that theme. Is there anything else you'd like to add about Break a Leg?
I would say if you're able to watch it, if you get to come and watch it, which you totally should come down to Austin and watch it. Just enjoy it, have fun. The music I love the music in it. There's lots of, bass. There's not too many jump scares or anything. So it's definitely just something to kind of get your adrenaline going. So yeah, just be prepared to watch it. It's great. I love it. Um, it's fun. It's like a little roller coaster watching it. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Raegan. I think people are going to love it on August 6th at the Austin After Dark Film Festival. As soon as they hear that creepy voice and they see that blood splattered
Oh
Operation
yeah.
Board, that sells it. Anyway, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to seeing more from you.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Take care.
You too.
Bye.